let's fast forward past LeBron James family part, and LeBron James gets called into Warner Brothers Studios. It's almost like this was all about Warner Brothers and not Space Jam.
Oh, it was definitely about Warner Brothers.
Yeah, he gets called in, and the algorithm, played by Don Cheadle, he is upset that he doesn't get enough attention. Nobody sees that he's coming up with all these ideas. He doesn't get the credit for the ideas for Warner Brothers. But he has the idea to use LeBron James as a centerpiece for the movies, TV shows, and all that stuff. So he brings in LeBron James along with the real life people, the team of Warner Brothers, and they present this idea to him. And his son is also there, but LeBron James thinks it's a horrible idea, hates it.
Right. Disrespected.
Yeah. But the son likes it because it's kind of like a video game. But Algae Rhythm, he is disgusted, and he still tries to find a way to get LeBron James in here, using him to sell his product and get credit. But the thing with this whole Algae Rhythm or algorithm, the Warner Brothers Studios people are like dummies. Like, they don't come up with anything the way that they're presented.
No. It's all the algorithm. And I feel like, it's picking at these YouTubers and all this other stuff where there's often a reference to the algorithm and why things are popular, why things aren't popular. And it's like sometimes things put a little too much emphasis on this algorithm because it is not a sentient being. It is just some math problems. So, and I'm sure it is, way more complicated than that. But to an extent, and to kids, if you're hearing that, where you could think it was someone just in the computer making everything happen for them, so they don't have to think anymore. And really, WB is like, we got so much stuff in our vault, we can just hit random and make a hit, which is what they did here.
This is a hit?
I think by their standards, I think so. I'm going to look at some actual stuff about the movie.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if this was a hit, but
I think for their standards. Let me see I don't know if I can see how much it made because it was on HBO Max. Better than expected. It was second place to Black Widow. That's expected.
So did it break even? I know it had $150 million was the budget.
Well, let me see. Just as soon as I saw it, as soon as you said it, it made $193.8 million.
Yeah, that ain't breaking even.
Well, that's more than that's 40 million more.
But you're barely making any money though.
$40 million I would say it cost them a lot, surprisingly. Maybe it was all the animation, given the amount of stuff that was their own that they put into this. It cost a good bit. 43.8 million. They didn't double anything. It might not be like a Disney Infinity War.
Not expecting that.
And then one article is saying it's actually a bigger hit than the first one. And you could argue movies have changed since then and how much they make and all this stuff.
Well, I think the first one is a cult classic that grew, like the lore of Space Jam grew as time went on. It wasn't as well liked when it first came out, I think.
Okay, yeah. And sometimes those cult followings you develop on movies that actually weren't that great at the time, but they were great for a certain niche, people our age. And we definitely blow it up based on our memories. And that always sometimes isn't accurate.
No, it's not. But I still do like some of the things in the first Space Jam.
I do. It's its own film. And I think you have to compare it because it is technically a sequel, but I think they really are such different movies. But even in this film, they do a lot of almost picking at themselves in comparing the movies. So it doesn't feel like, I don't know, like it's forbidden to talk about the other one, or that they just forgot about it, or that they just did a remake. This is definitely not a remake, which is nice. It is a different story, just with the same characters, like a true sequel. So many films from the 90s, early 2000s are just being redone with new people or live action or something like that. So it's not an original film, but it's nice that, well, it's actually different.
Thanks for watching. And if you would like to be featured on our podcast, make sure to click the link in the description.